Yeah, I remember when we was first starting the Focus Broadcasting Network. It was actually prior to what we're doing now with FLI TV. But you know, whenever you start in a company, at any point you have your naysayers. And you know, most of the time it's the people that's closest to you telling you what you can't do. And then they're telling you everything that can go wrong. But I'm the antithesis to that. You know, my partner and I, Dave Finn, we just need to figure out why one thing will go right. And we figure out why one thing will go right. We pray on it and make sure the universe resonates with what we want. And then it comes every time acid is given. And as you continue to put in work, you have these affirmations, you see things come to play. But when we was, you know, pretty young in the game in 2013, you know, we were starting this company, a network that focuses on African American and Latino content. And then inspiring, empowering content. That's the other piece, which, you know, as we saw, we was about to embark on a mission, and it was that was few and far to find. But we was trying to find our way through. And when you're an entrepreneur and when you're starting a company, sometimes you have other businesses that leads you up to that point. It's almost like when you have a long-term goal, you have short-term goals to lead you up to your long-term goals. So we did that. My partner and I, about 2012, we had a fleet of vehicles. We had 2 Mercedes-Benz truck, a Tahoe, a Suburban, and then a Lincoln MKT, and we got into the TLC business. So him and I, we had our TLC licenses. We never drove, but it was the purpose. Once your car have TLC plates, you have to have the TLC license in order to move it. But it was a business for us. So what we did was we would rent the car out to drivers. I mean, and this was early on. It was only Uber. Lyft was just starting. But we would rent the car out to drivers. And we would get like $800 per car. Like I said, we had a few of them, so that would rack up, you know, weekly. And they would keep the cars. They would drive around, do what have you. We would pay for the insurance. They would pay for any tickets or what have you. So this one day, one of our drivers, you know, we have a few different cars, so you have different personalities. So one of the drivers kept getting a lot of tickets in our car and things of that nature. He would never pay the tickets. So I was talking to my partner. I was like, look, we got to get rid of this guy. So, and at the same time, we was figuring out how to maximize and get this focused broadcasting off the ground with the IPTV, you know, connected TV platforms, which was brand new. Now it's still new, but back then it was like, people was like, what are you talking about? So anyway, I got up. I said, enough with this guy. So I got up. Remember, I had my TLC license. I took an Uber to his house. We had 2 sets of every car. So I just got in. I took the car. So as I took the car, when you're in the Uber or Lyft, you know, it's a ride-sharing app. So I had a profile, too. So I said, you know what? I'm out here. It's early in the morning. Let me do it. I never picked up anybody before, but I had the account and everything. So I hit the app. Doop, 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 doop. And it picks up, somebody hits me because I'm close to them. So I said, all right, let me go pick this person up. So I'll go to Manhattan. I'm not going to give the location, but I'm in a nice part of Manhattan, and I'm from New York, so I recognize when I'm in a decent area. So it was one of the more upscale parts of Manhattan. So this guy comes out, Caucasian guy, gets to the car. So he tells me, you know, he had put in the ride-sharing app. I'm taking him the way he got to go. So we're going down to the city. We're going to Midtown, and there's traffic. So him and I, we're just talking. We're striking up conversations. And he's like, wow, it's interesting. We started talking about the industry. And I've been at this point in the industry for over like 20 years, and some derivative. You know, we work with Raekwon. Got the group Pretty Ricky signed. Work with Mark Dorsey, Shannon Briggs. You know, of course, like, you know, Wu-Tang, Onyx. And it goes on and on. So my resume was extensive by this time. And and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get into the film, because we saw what was happening with the music industry. So we wanted to carve another niche where we had ownership. So anyway, so we're talking. So to make a long story short, this person is like, what time do you get off? I was like, I really don't do this. You know, I own Focus Broadcasting Network, and I told him the whole story that I just shared with you guys. Well, anyway, the guy was Kevin McCullough. And I don't know if you know who Kevin McCullough is, but he's arguably one of the top theatrical producers on Broadway. He did Avenue Q. He did Rent. He has a minority stake in Hamilton, and he also did Motown the Musical. And he said, you know what, you could get off? I said, yo, this is my company, I'm off. So we went to the city, I parked. He said, I want to bring you somewhere with me. And it was to the exclusive media day to the taping of Motown Musical. So Barry Gordy, I walk in, the first person I see is Barry Gordy, and we lock eyes. And then he's introducing me. He's like, look, I've never done anything like this before, but I just get something from your spirit, and I feel like you need to be here. So anyway, media there, New York Times, you know, Playbill, different people, because they're looking at different scenes of the play before it actually hits Broadway. So anyway, the artists, they do their different scenes or what have you, afterwards taking pictures, interviews, what have you. Then he brings me to Barry Gordy, and he's like, I want you to meet him. And I mean, it's like, you know, the world gets out the way for the man and woman that know where they're going. I mean, you have your best plan and you pray, and then your best plans, God laughs at them. And something comes that's not even imaginable. You know, like, you know, extraordinary. Like I like to tell people, the only thing between extraordinary and ordinary is the extra. Everything else is the same, but that little bit of extra, that changes everything. So anyway, he introduced me to Barry Gordy. He tells me to sit down. He had, what's this? What are you doing? Tell him all about Focus Broadcasting Channel Network, and that was our first celebrity channel. And he was like, look, where do I sign? I like it. You're going to be successful. And then you don't know what that did for me that day. I was like, look, I just got Barry Gordy. I could go to Puff. I could go to Jay-Z. Who are you? This is the man that started it all. And he gave us our channel, and like clockwork, after he signed, Shannon Briggs came, Onyx came, Mr. Cheeks came, Claudia Jordan came, and now our flagship show, The Rematch, with activist, author, former NBA basketball player Eton Thomas. So we went from that day to we just interviewed Mark Cuban and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar last week. So it's just interesting, like, just to reflect on everything, and like everything happens for a reason, and everything that happens stands on the shoulders of something previously. So I just wanted to reflect on that. So I remember, you know, when that happened, and without that I wouldn't be here today. FLI TV, baby, Focus Broadcasting Network, Marlon Greer. All right, FLI TV, our content could be consumed on all the IPTV network platforms, internet protocol television, such as your Apple TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire. You can also get our content in the mobile store for iOS and Android, true dedicated mobile apps. And lastly, you can get our content on www.FLI.TV. As well as the social media handles, I'm on Facebook, Marlon Greer. We also have the Focus Broadcasting Network business page on FLI TV. In reference to Twitter and IG, you can find us on FLI.TV.
I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will always get an alert when a new video drops.